Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alec Mosenberg, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the one and only spring football game here at Davenport High School. Tonight, it is the Davenport Broncos versus the Discovery Spartans. Welcome back. We are ready for the game. Kickoff has happened. It is a beautiful Thursday night evening. Current time is 7 o'clock. The weather tonight, it is 89 degrees out. Again, we are here at Davenport High School. This is the first down in the first quarter.
First and 10 from the 31-yard line.
So it's first and 10 on the 31-yard line. 11 minutes to go.
First offensive snap taken for a 40-yard pickup out to the 35. Second down and 6.
Yeah, the running was probably the biggest flaw that the Broncos were able to not be able to complete. It was really the passing that helped. I mean, it is not the same team. There have been a few changes, so it might take a little bit of getting used to some of these new guys that are on the team. Some of those include Dawson Young, for example. I think he was one of the newer guys who just got added to the roster here in the spring.
Quarterback on the keeper, keeps it on the ground, and it's going to be a first down and move the chains for the Spartans. First and 10 on their own 42.
And like you were saying, John, that run is just the number one flaw that usually goes up against the Broncos. As the ball is passed to number 2.
The pass is caught by the Spartans. And a touchdown saving tackle there by the Broncos, number 7, Ortez Barabino.
First and goal, 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter. They're on the 42-yard line.
First and goal now for Discovery Academy at the 2. And the Spartans are on the board with 9:27 left.
So the touchdown
Here
will
in
be
the first
completed
quarter,
as it
6
is
to
now
nothing
6
on a
0.
2-yard touchdown scamper.
6-0 Discovery.
This case, that's rising junior Tobin Kreminski with Taden graduating this weekend. Tobin did throw a little bit last year. He did have 12 touchdowns, completing 44% of the throws. So this will be his team coming up in the fall.
I mean, what, like, you know, what a person to pass your legacy down. Your own brother. If you carried the team for so long and you're able to pass it down, you know that it will be in good hands and it will have good
Here
leadership.
number 6 under pressure, and the point after is no good. So they'll hold on for just 6 as we begin. 3 minutes into the ball game here of our spring game 2022. It is 6 to nothing. Visiting Spartans here in the early lead.
Discovery Spartans on top by a score of 6 to nothing. The Davenport Broncos, Josh Garris and Alec Rosenberg here on the Broncos podcast. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be.
And it must have been really intriguing, you know, for which brother was it? Yeah, the one that's still playing. It must have been so intriguing for Jobin to, you know, play his first football game with his brother on that same team that, you know, where like they could pass the football to each other and be able to celebrate when either one of them scores a touchdown.
Number 4, Isaiah Pierre on the run back.
And the Spartans have clearly shown a good amount of aggression here in the first couple minutes of the game.
And it'll be 1st and 10 Broncos just across their own 26.
And I mean, 4-6, you know, that's not a bad record to end off of when you're in your season.
First offensive snap for the Broncos, and it's carried by number 5, Justin Saunders for a short gain, or as his friends call him, G5.
And with these new seniors, you know, these juniors that are being added to the seniors next year, or that'll be the first senior class next year, they will be able to, you know, get that leadership that they need.
Reception for Davenport, Marion Dargan. And they'll move the chains. That'll be a Bronco. First down.
As George will pass the ball, but
Isaiah Pierre on the carry this time.
close to out of bounds. On the 40-yard line, so they are 2nd and 10. That is their 2nd down.
Now gain second down and 10.
7 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Again, it is the second down on the 40-yard line. What a catch by, no, so flags were thrown on the play.
Referee still discussing the flag on play. 7:21 to go here in the opening quarter. Spartans leading the Broncos by a score of 6-0. And the flag is going to be against Discovery. So they will set the ball. That'll be a 1st and 10 for the Broncos. Broncos have broken midfield. They are now on the Discovery side of the field. 40 yards away. Or 45 rather, from the end zone.
The Broncos are quickly pushing their way back to get those 6 points as a hard hit.
George just takes his own number to get about 2 yards. So we'll see if George can continue that legacy that was left for him. So we go 2nd and 8. George again working from the shotgun. Goes back, snaps, throws it down the near sideline, and just through the hands of Saunders. If Saunders would have connected, he could have walked into the end zone. 3rd and 8, 6:41 to go.
It was just missed by Saunders. It looked like he had almost gotten it.
And Discovery calling a timeout. So the Broncos are starting to do
Quarter number 1, it's still 6-0.
Just over that could have been a touchdown. Try to get that out of your mind. Granted, it's easier said than done, but concentrate on that next pass.
And it's still very early in the game, so they have many chances, you know, to try and bring back those points that they gave up.
George pressured and could not get the ball off. Two-man tackle for the Spartan defense.
Like I was saying, the defense for the Spartans has been really aggressive.
And the offense is pushed back to their own 47. And this is going to bring up 4th and about 18 now for the Broncos.
The Broncos are back on their side on the 43-yard mark. decent crowd out here tonight on both sides.
De Silva's deep boot is fielded at about the 20. And Discovery will take over for their second offensive drive of the game. A little bit over halfway here in the first quarter, and officials tied out on the field at 5:34 to
Score
play.
point after
Here in the
point
first
after
quarter of
point,
our annual
where it
spring
will take
game,
them a
6
while
Celtic
to
our
try and
score.
rally back and make up for all those lost points that they gave up. Definitely.
On first down, ball carrier bombarded by the Bronco defense. And a slew of defenders in on that one after a short 2-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Coming in and surrounding the Spartans so that, you know, like you were saying, John, that they could hold them at 6 and didn't want to let them cover that many yards.
And a great play defensively under the flag. Number 7, Ortez Barbino with a solo tackle. And a loss of yardage there for the Spartans. And brings up a 3rd down and 15.
And right now they have shown that, like, just because we allowed you guys to score 6 points, we're not going to let you do that again. We are going to show you that we are still here. We're not out of this, and we're going to, you know, make up for those lost points. As the flag is thrown.
And the offside penalty by the Broncos will move the ball up 5 yards. 3rd and 9.
So still 3rd down, but they are now 3rd and 3 and 9. So they got a little bit closer to the 1st down. As the ball will be thrown to number 5, but Zachariah Thomas is there,
Number 5
right
on the
behind
reception,
him.
Giovanni Jimenez. Making the
Now
tackle
before
on
the
defense.
Spartans will get the 1st down.
More than enough there to move the chains, and that'll be a Spartan 1st down. Ball will be placed at their own 44.
of Broncos.
Number 22 leading the stop. No gain, second down and 10.
.2:27 to go here in the first quarter, as the Spartans will incomplete.
Pass is incomplete, but we do have a marker down.
So third down.
And that'll be a holding call on the offense.
There'll be a holding call for the Discovery Spartans. That was the official call.
Push all the way back to the 30. This will be second down and 20.
So a big loss of yards for the Discovery Spartans, as it is now 3-20. They got bumped back all the way to the 30-yard line on their side. And that will be another incomplete pass. Fourth down. The Broncos will be getting the football.
Short pass attempt is incomplete. Third down and 20.
Sorry, third down and 20, not fourth down and 20. Spartans looking to gain a lot of yards to get that first down again, but the Broncos are going to try so desperately to hold them back.
There you go, there you go!
As they will successfully do so. Now it is fourth down.
Short loss on the play. It'll bring up fourth and long. McCorder deep to receive for the Broncos.
Just over a minute to go. Again, the Spartans lead 6-0 here in the first quarter.
Timeout on the offense, their second of the half, and we are less than a minute away from the end of the first quarter. 55.4 ticks on the clock. Sitting at a 6-0 ball game.
Definitely, they're showing a lot more aggression. And I mean, you know, it's been about a year since they first played their first game. So a lot can change after a full year, you know, with more practices and everything. And the team definitely be able to build more relationships with each other and get comfortable with each other to where they can talk to each other and have that aggressive passion that they need to hold the other teams, as the Spartans will punt it.
Booming punt, ball is still loose, and the Broncos will come up on that. So special teams, both teams fumbling the punts coming their way. Broncos able to gain possession of the ball.
And what a nice sliding grab by Giovanni Jimenez. As everyone was pushing and shoving to get the ball, he comes in, slides, and gets it with ease.
So Junior getting that ball, hopefully starting to give the Broncos some momentum. But as you were saying, the comfort level is going to be huge because it does take teams a little while to gel, start to know each other, start to read each other's minds. Now that they've actually had this time, you are starting to see that. Later in the fall, it's, hey, we just basically met each other and now we're playing. Pass down that far sideline, and that's going to be a first down for the Broncos and then some.
What a play by the Broncos. I mean, from George to Saunders, and how Saunders was able to like maneuver through all the oncoming Spartans and make it as far as he did.
But it's going to be a penalty on the Broncos, so take that first down off the board, 33.9 seconds to go.
The Broncos will be penalized for holding, as it is now first down and 20 yards to go. First and 15 on the 30-yard line. Sorry, first and 10 on the 33-yard line. 20 seconds to go.
It is. It is first and 15
First
from
and
the
15.
33-yard line. You're good.
Ten seconds. Sorry. Go ahead.
Broncos now running down that near sideline, and nice gain, and Broncos wanting a flag on that play. Isaiah Pierre with that nice run down the near sideline. It will be second and short. And there will be a face mask on that play. So the Broncos wanted the penalty flag, and they got that penalty flag. It will be a first down for the Broncos, 4.8 seconds to go here in the opening quarter.
And it will result in an automatic Bronco first down.
And clock has started. So we'll see if the Broncos can get another play off of this quarter. They cannot. So that will do it for the opening quarter. The Spartans on top by a score of 6-0. So Alec, you have to be impressed with how both of these teams have come out in the spring game.
Definitely, from what we've seen from the beginning of the of last year, it seems like. I think we played Discovery last year too. Oh, we didn't? Oh, well.
Not in football, anyway.
Not in football.
Every other sport, just not football.
So this is our first time playing Discovery in football, but I mean it's shown that like the relationships that the boys have built on each other, and the friendships and the teamwork, it's gotten a lot stronger as they were able to just hold the Spartans at 6 points and didn't allow them to blow this game wide open only in the first quarter.
And these teams do have that rich history, again, not going down here on the football field, but in other games. If you take a look on the basketball court, that huge half-court Hail Mary shot that Tip Butler went down went up against the Discovery Spartans. So again, these two teams geographically not that far apart, with Discovery right down the road in Lake Alfred. So Broncos looking to take possession of the ball. First play here of the second quarter, down 6-0.
As George will throw to Saunders, but he will go out of bounds.
Again, the ball just going right through Saunders' hands. But again, when you have that young club, it's like, how many times have that repetition happen when you lose your senior quarterback? Now it's time to get Aiden George up and going. Granted, he did take some snaps during practices in the fall, but here's when you can start to work out some of those kinks. And eventually, everything will come and connect.
George is a junior?
He'll be a rising junior.
He'll be a rising junior. So yeah, I mean, like, exactly like you were saying, he's going to have to use like these current juniors that are going to become seniors next year. He's going to need to get their mentorship, potentially And
3rd and 10.
this is his team. If he's the quarterback, he has to lead this team, make good passes.
So it's going to be 3rd and 10 now.
You know, as I was saying, make good passes, be able to lead this team to where they can score as many points as they possibly can. They're on the 33-yard line, 3rd down.
And we have a flag on the play. Broncos pointing toward Discovery, saying that Discovery jumped.
And the Broncos will talk things over. 14 seconds into the 2nd quarter.
And it would be a timeout for the
First
Broncos.
timeout
Around
for Davenport here tonight.
11:46 to go here in the 2nd quarter. So while we do have a second, we definitely want to thank each and every one of you that have tuned in to the Broncos Broadcast Network this first year. You guys have seen so many things come at you this year, from live games, from newscasts, from broadcasts such as rodeo. And as Principal Duget here at Davenport High School says, we're just getting started. This is year 1. It'll be fascinating to see where this program goes in the coming years.
And what a year it has been. I mean, not even like with just all of you watching. I mean, behind the scenes with like the amount of members that we have been getting coming to the games. It's just been amazing with all the help that we've gotten to make these broadcasts happen.
And you're at a lot of these games, you're hearing myself, you're hearing Alec, you're hearing Mackenzie Cavan, you're hearing Robert Marciano. There is definitely a huge team that you are not hearing from behind the cameras, from our producers. And here is a pass down that near sideline. And there is going to be a flag on that play. So Saunders trying to get redemption. There will be a flag, and those sticks probably are going to be moving down.
And really, John, I think we should all be thanking you for making this like program happen. You know, you're basically the face. And I mean, I know our producer, you know, who's also behind the scenes, Spencer Schofield. I know he's doing all like the computer stuff, but you're really the one who put this all together and was able to make it happen.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And some other camera members that we've had throughout the year. We had Renisha Grant. We had Joshua Samoa. And again, definitely could not do it without the technical side. There is a lot more to these broadcasts than you can imagine.
First down.
So it'd be 1st and down for the Broncos. 1st and 10 rather. But yeah, definitely, it has been a pleasure coming back behind the microphone to help you guys out and seeing where this program, the Broncos Broadcasting Network, has become.
And like Mr. Duchesne, what you said, we're just getting started. What could this program be in like the next 5-10 years when, you know, there's just a whole brand new bunch? Because, you know, Mackenzie's an ongoing senior. I don't have too many years left, Spencer, and like all of us, we're going to be...
You don't have too many years left at the school.
At the school, yeah, at the school.
Definitely want to clarify that before all of a sudden we get tweets, oh my God, what's going on with Alec? No, at the school.
At the school. So eventually we're going to be, you know, leaving DHS, and it's going to be difficult to try and find replacements for us, but who knows? Maybe there's a whole like new generation of kids that will be oncoming sometime in the near future and able to be our successors.
Broncos getting a good pickup there. It will be 2nd and about 4.
10:51 left on the clock. Again, the Spartans lead 6-0.
And we have a timeout on the field. 10:51 to go here in the opening half. Spartans on top by a score of 6-0. The Broncos definitely looking to change that. So this is definitely a brand new look team for the Broncos. Big changes were made throughout the year, both with some players, as we mentioned, and also a lot of the coaching staff has turned over as well. Offensive coordinator for the Broncos, and Tyler Eden returned to take a head coaching job up in Ohio. So a lot of moving pieces as this team continues to come down. Isaiah Harris is 7th in the state in receiving, not in tonight's game.
And of course, probably the biggest change, the quarterback, Brindley Vanderveer, leaving because he is a senior. He's the only senior this year that was here at Davenport High School.
It was fun to see what he did not only on the football field, but on the basketball court, and then even on the football field and the baseball field. Because he developed so much playing basketball this year.
A man of many talents.
Give himself coming down. Waiting for a sign. Did he cross over? And he did.
It is a Bronco touchdown. What a play that was. We were wrong. It was suspenseful at first.
You had Coach Waring on the sideline basically running down with his hands up in the air saying, call it, call it, call it. And just like that, we are tied 6-6, 10:42 to go here in the opening half.
And now De Silva coming in to try to give the Broncos the lead.
And it looks like the Broncos will be potentially going for the kickoff, not the two-point conversion.
Extra point is up, and the extra point by De Silva goes through, and the Broncos take the lead on top 7-6. As De Silva continues to get more and more comfortable being the kicker for the Broncos. De Silva excelled during the winter playing soccer for the Broncos, and now able to show off his leg here. And just like that, we look on the sideline. Here's Aiden George instantly throwing to Isaiah Harris to just stay loose. This Broncos going to kick it away, 10:42 to go. Now we'll see if the Broncos defense can answer just like they did the last time they were on the field. Try to get a quick 3 and out, get George and the offense back on the field.
And again, it's incredible, you know, they were down 6-0. It almost looked like it could have become 12-0. Yeah, 12-0. But nope, just like that, the Broncos answer back and they're like, we're holding you at 6, and they've come back and they've made it a 1-point game.
That's some great defense and causing the offense, in that case Discovery, to make penalties, and that is a huge return for Discovery, breaking out from midfield. Going down that far sideline to about the 30. Great return by Discovery, and they will have excellent field position to begin this drive.
And now this is to where the point where the defense has to step in because they're really close to the goal. So the defense really has to stay on point here and hold them at 6 like they did for the final little bit of the first quarter.
And the Spartans will start with good field position at the Bronco 31.
So Discovery from the 31.
10:30 to go here in the first quarter.
Discovery setting up for snap to the near side, coming out of the shotgun.
As they will go out of bounds.
Countless flags on the field. And it's going to be holding on Discovery.
Number 9, Chris Durbin to the outside and brought down by number 7, Ortez Barabino. And that run is coming back. The flag is for offensive holding.
And this is what started that Broncos momentum the last time they had their defense on the field, a key penalty. We'll see if that can strike yet again.
So 120. First down and 20 yards to go. Just over 10 minutes left here in the first half of the game. Nice defense by, was it number 66? Which is not on here. I don't know who that is.
So it'll be second and long for the Spartans. Takes the handoff, and look at the Broncos going all over Krasinski there. And again, this is all it took. It was that one penalty, and it's just reshaped the Broncos' mindset.
They're regaining that aggressiveness that they had to hold them at 6, just so that they can get the ball and really blow this game wide open.
So it'll be third and long with the ball being on the 45-yard line.
Loss of 7. Third down and 25 at the 45.
So on the 45-yard line, it is the third down with 25 yards to go until they get a first down. 8 minutes and 20 seconds left here in the second quarter.
And there's going to be a penalty on the Spartans. So the ball continuing to move down in the opposite direction.
And a delay of game penalty moves it back to midfield.
So it'll now be third and 30.
This is clearly not what the Spartans were wanting to happen this quarter. They've clearly been trying to gain the amount of yards.
But now look at that run down that far sideline. Broncos bit thinking they were going to the near sideline, and look at all of that yardage that the Spartans tried and did pick up. So it'll be fourth and long. But a great play by the Spartans to pick up some needed yards. Just getting back to the original line of scrimmage, so fourth and 10. Fourth as 11 as the ball is respotted. 7:28 to go here in the opening half. And Discovery electing to keep their offense on the field. Can the Broncos make a huge stop here? And there will be a flag on the play. A lot of jumping around at the line of scrimmage, but who jumped? Broncos pointing to a Discovery. Of course, Discovery saying, no, 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 it was the Broncos that jumped.
So both teams clearly blaming each other.
And of course, they're not just going to look at the official. Oh, sir, yeah, it was actually me. And it is going to be on Discovery. So an offsides will be called. So push them back 5 more yards. It'll now be 4th and 16.
We'll bring up 4th and 16.
7:07 to go here in the opening half.
And the Broncos are clearly getting that defensive push as the Spartans are making a lot of mistakes that are causing them to lose a lot of yards.
And look at this Broncos defense with the sack to go ahead and cause the turnover on downs. Again, we did mention the last time the Broncos defense was on the field, your best offense can be your defense. In these last 2 possessions, the Broncos defense coming up huge.
And we've got a timeout on the field, water break timeout as we near the midway mark of the second quarter.
So a timeout will be called.
6:39 to play in the
6:39
first half.
left
It's a
here in
one-point
the
game,
second
and
quarter.
play
Again, the
resumes
Broncos
in the
lead
game.
7-6. My name is Alec
Broncos.
Mosenberg, and I am joined by John Shigaris. You are watching the Bronco Broadcasting Network. It is a beautiful Thursday night evening here at Davenport High School.
And momentum definitely starting to wear the Broncos black jersey. And you have seen this defense just come up huge the last two drives. We saw the offense respond with the points on the board last time out. We'll see if they can do the same today on this drive. Well, he's not playing right now. If you take a look, Isaiah Harris again in Aiden George's ear. There is that experience that will be coming down. You have Isaiah Harris with receiving yards 7th in the state last year. What better way to get some information from than him?
And I mean, he's the next best guy since our quarterback is, he's leaving. So Isaiah is that number one guy to go to if you have any advice or if you need any advice.
Broncos instantly going for the handoff. That's Henry Tolliver who will now be taking the snaps for the Broncos as their quarterback. 6:28 to go here in the opening half. So Coach George going ahead and mixing it up, getting a few people taking the snaps.
2-yard gain of the carry. 2nd and 8.
Broncos able to pick up 2, 2nd and 8. And there's going to be a flag on the play, and that's going to go back behind the line of scrimmage, but we will see the result of that
A
flag.
signal caller number 2, Henry Tolliver in.
And the penalty will be on the Broncos. So Broncos will be pushed back, and we will try the 2nd down again.
That'll be 2nd and 15 after the holding penalty.
With just over 5 minutes to go. Looks like
And Broncos are good. They will call a timeout, 5:18 to go. So Coach George didn't like some formation that he saw out there. So good time to go ahead and call the timeout. You just had your penalty there. Go ahead, calm down your offense, because what did we see the entire last drive from Discovery? Penalty, penalty, and then they're totally taken out of their frame of mind. So Coach George is going out there and he's like, hey, you got a penalty. Obla-di, obla-da. Penalties happen. Let's refocus and let's get it done on this next possession. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Just go out there one play at a time. As cliche as it sounds, that's exactly what you have to do in this type of situation. 2nd and 15, 5:18 to go here in the opening half. From the shotgun, tossing the pitch, going down that far sideline. And Broncos getting the 1st down and then some. Down to the 30, the 20, the 10,
Saunders
5, touchdown, Saunders with redemption.
oh, not Saunders. Pierre, I think it was.
Isaiah Pierre.
It was Pierre. He's a speedy.
It was Saunders with a huge block down the stretch. So
what
huge. Go ahead, Alec.
What a play that was. I mean, he was able to break through, and he was just speeding his way down to the end zone.
And again, Broncos defense goes up there, gets the huge stop. Broncos offense comes down, throw those points on the board.
Now this blows the game they've got a little bit more. It doesn't exactly blow it, but they got a little bit more breathing room now.
Soto's extra point is up, and that one is gonna go, and that is huge for Nicholas Da Silva. Because last year, Da Silva did have a number of missed extra points, so now we're even getting his confidence going, and this is exactly what the Broncos were looking to achieve in this spring game.
So the current score is 14-6 with just over 5 minutes left. And again, what a touchdown that was. The Broncos were able to have that teamwork. They were able to fend off the Spartans, allow Pierre to get down to where he needed to be, and they made it just in time.
And it came off of that timeout, and just before that, the Broncos did have that penalty. So great coaching wherewithal to go out there. Hey, get that penalty out of your mind. Let's see what you can do. And look what happens on that very next play. Out of all the teams we've seen, the Broncos do have a knack for doing that more than I have seen from any other school. We saw it so often with Coach Ty with the volleyball team. We saw it Coach Brotherek making a number of timeouts, and then the girls basketball team just getting right back into it. Coach Jones the same way for the guys. The Broncos go to kick it off. And Broncos with a nice stop. It's not allowing as much of a return as the Spartans did get on their last kickoff. So it'll be 1st and 10 from about the 30, 4:53 to go here in the opening half. John Shigaris alongside Alec Mosenberg. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be. 7:48 here on the East Coast, coming to you from the newest high school in Polk County, Florida, Davenport High School, home of the Broncos. And we've been informed that this field has been rechristened the Ranch.
I mean, with the way the field looks, it looks like ranch, so. Bad joke, sorry.
Quick pass down that near sideline, and it looks like the Spartans might have a first down. And there is a flag on the play. Late flag now coming in, 4:47 to go. So we'll wait for the result of the penalty. Broncos looked like they were trying to plead their case. And it's going to be a face mask on the Broncos.
4:47 left here in the first half.
So the sticks will be moved. It will be a first down into Bronco territory. So ball will be spotted at the 46-yard line. And they run right down the heart of the field for Discovery. They will pick up a first down and then some. 4:38 to go here in the opening half.
The Broncos are desperately trying to hold on to that lead.
So one thing we have seen the Spartans do on that first drive that they did get points, run, run, run. Here we go, right down the middle, trying to go right down the Broncos' throat.
There goes a pass, but it is incomplete.
Long pass intended for Number 2, Ashlock.
Second down.
Incomplete. Second down and 10.
But again, just excellent defense from the Broncos, and this is what they said last year was going to be their bread and butter, was the defense. And now starting to gel, you out of that entire season, getting to know your defense. And I know this football team has put a lot of time in the weight room during the off season. So second and 10 from the shotgun. And that one's going to be incomplete. Third and 10. Great hit by the Broncos on the play.
Pass incomplete. Third down and 10.
As you mentioned earlier, awesome turnout for tonight's game. Both here on the near sideline with the Broncos fans and on the far sideline with the Discovery fans.
It's definitely been one of the better crowds that we've seen here at Davenport High School.
Absolutely, it has. One of the bigger crowds. I was going to say, the last time we saw a crowd this big would have been in the opening game against Tenorock. And that's going to be a first down for Discovery and then some, and that's going to be first and goal.
Along with biggest crowds, that rival game against Haines City had a pretty good crowd as well.
So here's Discovery baiting the Broncos, thinking pass, pass, pass. No, I'm just going to take it myself, and I'm going to run for the first down. So first and goal. 3:27 to go here in the opening half. Broncos looking for a huge stop up against the goal line. And again, why not if you're Discovery? One thing that you have had some success with is running the ball, so why not try to run it there? Second and goal. Under 3 minutes to play here in the opening half. Ball is on the 4-yard line.
And goal to the 4.
So the Broncos are now in a desperate need to try and hold them at 6.
Ashlock goes left.
And the reverse, not able to get points. Another big stop for the Broncos. Third and goal now.
This is the part of the game where, and yeah, I know we're still in the first half, but where it gets a little bit intense because you're on your third down, but you're right at the goal, so anything could happen.
And the Ranch coming alive to try to go ahead and will on the Broncos.
And it looks like the Spartans will get the touchdown, as it is now a 2-point lead for the Broncos.
And we have a 2-point ball game now.
After that touchdown, the current score is 14-12.
So we're assuming the Spartans would go for 2. They are 0 for 1 on the 2-point conversion. So they tried to go for 2 their first possession, which they went right down the field and scored. Fake coming down in the near sideline.
It looks like the 2-point conversion will be successful.
There is a
No.
penalty marker on the play.
So I was mistaken. It was a penalty marker.
Ball now be started back at about the 12-yard line.
Penalty on the Spartans moves the ball back. Another untimed extra point attempt. Ball placed near the 13.
And that would be an incomplete pass. So again, the Broncos defense preventing a 2-point conversion. This is the special teams that the Broncos started to generate and actually click down the stretch in their regular season last year. 2:23 to go, Broncos on top 14-12. So again, any sort of defensive spark. Granted, the Spartans put up points, but here is the defense. They have the last say on that possession. We'll see if that can go ahead and generate a spark for the offense. 2:23 to go here in the first half. Spartans back to kick it off. 2:23 to go here in the opening half. Broncos getting the ball back with a 2-point lead. And it's going to be a squib kick that the Broncos will go ahead and recover down that far sideline, but will not get much of a return on it.
Kicked into the near the 25 and a run back of about 3 yards. With just over 2 to play in the first half, it'll be Bronco first down.
Broncos going ahead, breaking the huddle on the sideline, now taking the field. As Coach Waring and George talking about what they want to do on this possession. And Saunders was able to get the ball, pick up a few yards, 2:05 to go here in the opening half.
As he zigzags his way forward for a gain of 2. Crosses the 30-yard line and it'll bring it second down and 8.
So 2nd and 8.
Broncos gained 2 yards. Still looking for that first down. Again, they lead 14-12.
High snap was able to recover, and Tolliver was able to pick up some yards on his own. 1:37 to go here in the opening half.
Running it down to the 35. 3rd down and 4.
So 3rd and 4. Tolliver gets it, pitches it toward his right, and the Broncos are going to lose some yardage on that play.
Brought back in the backfield for a loss, but there is a marker down on the play.
And another penalty flag on the play. And the penalty is going to be on Discovery. So Broncos will get some more yardage going down the field. And the chains will move. It will be a first down.
Defensive penalty means first down, Broncos.
So an automatic first down here to go with 126 or 123 left on the clock. Again, the Broncos lead 14-12 as the ball is thrown by Tolivar. And what a catch by, caught by number 11, which is Omarion Dargon, to get another Bronco first down.
Ball on the 35. 1:10 to go. This clock is running. Broncos on their 2-minute drill offense. Here goes another pass down that far sideline.
So an incomplete pass.
Hey, J-Fire, you gotta get that.
Second down.
Second
Pass
and 10.
incomplete intended for Saunders. That'll stop the clock. And it'll bring up a second down and 10, and the Spartans 35.
Seconds to go.
And just under 55 seconds to play.
And another incomplete pass.
Tolliver zips one in down the middle, and it's incomplete. Third down and 10.
So 3rd and 10, 50.1 seconds to go. Now, like, as we go ahead and we scan the crowd, one thing you do notice is you do have a lot of young fans in the crowd, and that's one thing you usually don't see at a high school football game.
And it's definitely, the crowd is definitely built up as the game has continued. Yeah, I will say, as I'm looking right now, there are a lot of young fans out there.
Snap coming down the near sideline. The throw down the near sideline is going to go out of bounds. 43.2 seconds to go, 4th and 10. Because usually when you do see young fans at a game, they're throwing a ball to each other and they're not really paying attention. All of these eyes are glued on the field. So it'll be 4th and 10, 43.2 seconds to go. Broncos clinging to a 2-point lead, 14-12.
Hector Silva to kick it away.
De Silva will go ahead and he will punt it. And that will be a touchback as the ball ends up in the end zone.
And the punt bounces in the end zone.
So Discovery will go ahead, they will get possession, 35.9 seconds to go. We'll see if Discovery opts to do anything with it, if they will just down the ball and take it to halftime.
Spartan first down at the 20.
Spartans take the ball, and that'll be a huge sack by the Broncos. 25 seconds to go. And again, this Broncos defense has come alive in this game.
And a blistering stop by the Bronco D. 2nd and 15.
So 2nd and 15, 12 seconds to go here in the opening half. Looking down the near sideline, passes away. It's going to be intercepted by the Broncos.
Wow.
What a way for that defense to end that first half, Alec.
That was something. Oh, man.
So it's one of those. So the Broncos, with that interception, they're going to take momentum into the locker room. Broncos will receive when we begin the second half. Broncos on top by a score of 14-12. So, Alec, what have you liked about this ball game so far from the Broncos standpoint?
The defense has gotten so much better as the game went on. Because, I mean, we saw from the start, they allowed 6 points easily. And then they came back and just was like, nope, you can't score. We're going to hold you no matter what happens. And that defense has gotten a lot better.
And it's definitely a totally different looking Broncos because last year, first drive of points when I went on the board. Oh, okay, no, we're done. So it's a totally different mindset. It's a totally different look from this Broncos team. And it's exceptional to see what they have done.
Definitely.
So we'll go ahead. We will take a break here at halftime. Broncos on top by a score of 14-12 here on the Broncos Broadcasting Network. 14-12 as the Broncos and the Spartans look to begin the second half. Broncos leading the Spartans from Discovery Academy 14-12. And what a defensive effort it was for the Broncos. As we kept saying through the broadcast, I know it is cliche, but great defense can lead to great offense. And that is one thing that we definitely went ahead and we did see from the Broncos. If this would have been the Broncos team, granted, you don't want to put a negative spin on it, but being that first-year program, if it was the fall, when all of a sudden you have a team go down, drive and put points on the board, the Broncos would have started to look at it and say, oh no, we might be out of this. Different-looking Broncos team here, instantly coming right out, and they threw points right back on the board. Their defense came up huge. Defense forced penalties. And that is one thing that you definitely want to go ahead and see out of this team as we have 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go here at the halftime. Broncos with the 2-point lead. And the Broncos right now mixing up their quarterbacks a little bit. Broncos starting the game, they had Aiden George going. Then we had Henry Tolliver. And being able to mix this up, the Broncos are starting to be able to get some different looks. The Broncos need to replace their quarterback. Only position that will not be returning next year.
I mean, it's kind of like an audition, you know, as you were saying, for who's going to fill that legacy that Brindley left behind as he is leaving. So with these multiple different, like, auditions for who that quarterback is going to be, it'll be very interesting to see who Coach George and whoever returns as the other coaches next year. It'll be interesting to see who they choose as that quarterback to lead the team.
And the Broncos not only having to plan without Vanderveer, the Broncos did have some coaching movement between the fall and the spring. Because now Coach Waring has joined the coaching staff. Coach Rosario has now joined the coaching staff. So it's a new look that has sparked some life into the Broncos. And again, one thing that we kept hearing over and over again in the fall from Coach Eden, who again is now up in Ohio, is wait until you can get this defense program and your offensive line on a weightlifting program. Once that is able to happen, you are going to see a totally different team. And we have seen this offensive line hold it. We have seen big defensive stands. We have seen sack after sack. And that is what's going to happen when you're able to spend some time in the weight room and start to add some muscle.
And I mean, it may not look like it now, but I guarantee in, say, the next 5 years, this team has the potential to become something big.
Oh, absolutely.
If this coaching staff is done as good as of a job at coaching. I mean, even last year, yes, it was their first year, and it wasn't a horrible record. I mean, 4-6, you know, for your first record, that's not bad. That's really good, actually, for a new starting out team.
And some of their biggest wins came on the road, which again, in their very first game up against Ponciano, which they traveled on the road, was a victory. And that happened on a touchdown on the last play of the drive. As kickoff is away down that far sideline, and we are underway here in the third quarter. Broncos making a return to the 40, 45 toward midfield. Great kickoff return for the Broncos to begin this second half. And talk about how that first half ended with a huge interception from this defense, which sparked some momentum for the Broncos coming into the third quarter.
That was quite an ending to the first quarter. I mean, like as you were saying, John, that interception, I mean, that's a great way to end off the first quarter because it will give you that spark of adrenaline that you need to be able, you know, to keep your team grinding, keep the momentum, like you were saying, going, keep that teamwork up, keep their heads high, and be able to lead them to get this win over Discovery.
So a flag on the play will negate a lot of that return. So penalties have given the Broncos defense some extra life, and here we see the opposite as they are pushed back here on their first offensive drive here on the second half. It will be George back behind center for the Broncos. Passing it down the near sideline, gets it to Dargan. And Dargan gets it down close to that first down, 11:40 to go. And the chains will move, so Broncos beginning the second half with a quick first down. That's exactly what the Broncos want to do, just continue this momentum, continue. Starting up chunks of yardage while draining the clock. And there will be a flag as George barely gets back to the line of scrimmage.
There is a flag on the play as well.
The flag in the backfield, assuming it's going to be on the Broncos. And it will be on the Broncos. Very quick injury timeout, and that's exactly what you want to see is players walking off on their own power. Broncos using that injury timeout to go ahead and regroup, try to talk it through. Try to go ahead and get that penalty out of the mind a little bit as they face the 2nd and 20.
First and 25.
First and 25. Gets the ball, looks down that far sideline. That's going to be an incomplete pass. 2nd and 35.
Second down.
Josh Ayers here with Alec Mosenberg. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be on this Thursday night here at the ranch, deep in Bronco country.
Been seeing a lot of incomplete passes tonight by both teams, and I mean, it's not like, hard to expect. It's been over a year since since the Broncos have faced another team, so mistakes are bound to be made. But usually it just depends on what it is, because it can benefit or it will hurt the Broncos.
And an overthrow on the near sideline, and again, both of these teams are losing senior quarterbacks. Discovery knowing who their quarterback will be next year. Broncos is still trying to settle that on the field. As you mentioned, almost an audition going on tonight. It's looking like Georgia will take it for the 1st and 3rd quarter, and Tolliver took it in the 2nd quarter. We'll see if he comes back out in the 4th quarter. 3rd and 25 now. And we have a timeout. So Broncos want to discuss it a little bit with 10:49 to go here in the 3rd quarter. So Alec, if you're the Broncos and Coach George, what are you telling your offense to try to generate a spark right now?
I mean, probably to just find that momentum that was being generated by the offense in the first half, because they were getting past the Spartans. They were scoring those points. They were getting the touchdowns. They gained the lead that they needed. And to just have that teamwork that they had.
On the flip side, Spartans trying to get momentum to swing back their way, and a huge stop here might begin that momentum swing.
So 3rd and 25. 10:49 here to go in the 3rd quarter. They're on the 10-yard line.
And there will be a penalty against Discovery. So now down to 3rd and 20, so a little less yardage the Broncos need to obtain. George back from the shotgun.
George throws to Pierre. So that's 4th and 15.
Pierre with that amazing touchdown pass earlier in the game. So 4th and long, you would assume the Broncos would be bringing out their punting team.
It's just been, back and forth all night with both teams. No one really scoring that excessive amount of points that they need. It's just been one team gets the ball and then the other team gets the ball, and it's just...
It has. It's been a defensive clinic at times tonight. Punt is up and away, and a booming punt toward midfield, definitely taking a Broncos bounce. And on the run back, the Spartans will bring it down that far sideline before the Spartans are taken out of bounds around the 35-yard line. 9:42 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Now, like I know both of us were able to walk this crowd during halftime. An amazing crowd and an amazing atmosphere. You could feel the electricity as we walked through the crowd.
Definitely, and I mean, as walking through that crowd, talking to people that you probably haven't seen in a while, getting to maybe meet some new people, seeing friends from like another school or per se. It really was like the energy that is just lively through that crowd tonight. It is really, really incredible.
Definitely saw more than one class of 2026 shirts. So those would be your rising freshmen who aren't even on campus yet coming out to support their Broncos. And Spartans with the run. Nice stop by the Broncos. And this is what their defense has to do. Just stop that run. One of those things you can definitely tell they worked on all winter and then during spring practices. Because that was a huge Achilles heel for the Broncos last year. So it'll be 2nd and 10, 9:26 to go. Spartans are already in Broncos territory. But again, when the Broncos have faced adversity so far tonight, they have come up. Discovery with another handoff going down the far sideline, breaks one tackle. That's going to be good for a couple. It'll be 3rd down. This clock goes under 9 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. So 3rd and 3 as the Broncos defense shoring up the middle, expecting a run. And it will be a handoff, and not much yardage there. Huge stop by the Broncos. Exactly what this defense has been doing all night tonight. And definitely was extremely worried there with everyone thinking run. And we've seen that a few times with the Spartans when the entire crowd thinks run. Hey, we're going to hit that floater pass for a number of yards. Not in that case, as we'll go to 4th down, 4th and 3.
And it seemed like on that play that the Broncos have kind of discovered what the Spartans are doing. No pun intended. Where they have like kind of figured out that, oh, if they're just going to keep running, maybe we can counteract that.
Spartans going to it on 4th down, and there will be a flag on the play, and that will be an offsides on the Spartans. So maybe the Spartans trying to draw the Broncos offsides, but late jump instead. So push them back 5 yards, 7:35 to go here in the third quarter. Broncos on top by a score of 14-12. See if that changes anything here now, being 4th and 7.
Back to the original line. It'll be 4th and 10.
And that ball is going to be incomplete and a turnover on downs, and the Broncos defense is able to hold again. It is unbelievable how much this defense has been transformed in the last few months, Alec. It really is.
Definitely. I mean, like I was saying, earlier in the game, it's because of like how much they've become comfortable with each other, and the teamwork and the way they just they've built on that teamwork. I mean, being with each other for, I think, roughly over a year now. What they've become has completely just skyrocketed from what they used to be.
George working from the shotgun. And a handoff, and there will be about a yard or two by Dargan. As the clock continues to tick away, 6:45 to go here in the third. So 2nd and 5. Broncos with a 2-point lead.
It has really become a close and kind of intense game right now. It really is like an intense game.
And that's going to be an interception by the Spartans, and there is no one in front of them. And that will be a pick 6, and just like that, the Spartans take the lead.
And that just shows how quickly things can change in a game.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a game of possessions. It's just like that. Discovery now on top by 4. 18-14, 6:12 to go here in the third quarter. So Discovery will opt to kick the extra point in this time after going 0 for 2 on the 2-point conversions. And the fake was down, and they end up just like that. It is 19-14, 6:12 to go here in the third quarter. So the Broncos will end up getting the ball back. And we do have a water break timeout as we reach the midpoint here in the third quarter. So, Alec, the Broncos did have all of this momentum going into this third quarter, but momentum is definitely now starting to wear a red jersey.
Definitely. I mean, like I was saying, this game can change quickly. I mean, the Spartans started off with 6-0. Then the Broncos came back, made it 7-0, and then they made it 7-6.
14-6, there you go. We know what you meant.
Getting ahead of myself. And then they made it 14-6, and then just quickly, just like that, it became 14-12, and now it's 19-14. That's like the great thing about sports is sports can be so unpredictable. I mean, it's not just with football. Example, we'll do baseball. With baseball,
I was gonna say,
anything
go to your wheelhouse. Go with baseball.
anything can be unpredictable. I mean, even in the major leagues. I don't have a good example for what can happen.
You don't have a good example. You don't want to go back to, I don't know, the ALCS in 2004. You don't want to go back to Sox Yanks. You don't want to go back to Dave Roberts stealing second base and changing history. I mean, that would have been the perfect example there for you.
Well,
But I mean, that's the Red Sox fan in me and the Yankee fan in you as the kickoff is away. Another squib kick.
Well, I mean, it's not just that. You know, the ALCS back in 2017 too, where, of course, we all found out that they were cheating, where the Astros walked it off against the Yankees. That wasn't unpredictable because everyone had predicted, like, oh, the Yankees are this #1 team. They're going to win the World Series in this year. Just like that. Nope, they get knocked out of the postseason. I mean, yeah, that's like the great thing about sports is it's super unpredictable. You can never tell who's going to win, who's going to lose until the game is over.
And just think of how many upsets. You could even go to like March Madness. Look at 2 years ago where you finally had a 16 seed beat a #1 seed, something no one ever thought would happen.
Definitely.
That's why they go out and they play the game. If we go ahead and we quote Herm Edwards. I will not do the former Jets head coach impression because no one needs to hear that tonight. First and 10 is handed off, and it will be a short gain for the Broncos.
And I think that's the like #1 most entertaining thing about sports is how unpredictable they are.
And that's one thing that keeps fans going over and over again to those games, because you're right, you never know what can happen on any given night. Not only wins and losses, but you never know what type of experience you might see as that one falls incomplete. 3rd and 6.
5:20 left here in the third quarter. Again, the Spartans now lead 19-14.
Broncos again working from the shotgun. And that will be a loss of a few yards, 4:50 to go. It will be a 4th down for the Broncos. Clock continues to click down as we go to the 4-minute mark.
The Broncos are seriously going to need to step up their offense part if they want to get these points back to be able to win this game.
And a false start, and the Broncos continue to fall even closer to their own end zone.
Again, it's looking like the momentum has now taken the side of the Spartans as the same penalty spree that was going on with with the Spartans is now happening to the Broncos.
Broncos able to get some yardage on there, but it'll come up and be 4th down. Broncos going back. They will punt away. 3:16 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Silver receives it, and that is a booming punt down at midfield, taking a Broncos bounce, and the ball is going to be fumbled. Do the Broncos come up with it? The Broncos think they do, and the Broncos will come up with it. Huge special teams play. Huge, huge, huge special teams as the officials go ahead and they will quickly conference, and they're going to give Discovery the ball. And Coach Waring and Coach George cannot believe it on the near sideline.
Currently, they're clearly not happy about it.
So Spartans will take the ball. It will be 1st and 10, 3:03 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Spartans now on top by a score of 19-14. And that is one of those things that could be a momentum killer. Here are the Broncos thinking they just had this fantastic special teams play, getting the ball back only for it to be overruled and given to the Spartans. Coach George and Waring both are talking to the near sideline official, wondering why the call was made the way it was. The Spartans will begin 1st and 10 from their own 45. Broncos looking to see if their defense can step up like it has all game. Quick run down that far sideline, a pickup of about 3. It'll be 2nd and about 7.
So with 2:30 to go, it is 2nd down, 6 yards to 1st down on the, I believe, still 45. 49-yard line. And the Spartans still lead 19-14. As the ball is intercepted by the Broncos.
And that's exactly what your defense has to do. Here I think the offense is going to go right back on the field. So absolutely go ahead, go out there and cause it, the interception there. Get the offense back on the field, not the way they thought they were going to be back on the field. But Broncos will get the 1st down. Nice snap, and Pierre is able to pick up a couple. So it'll be 2nd and 6 for the Broncos. 1:33 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Broncos looking to get back into this game now, trailing by 5. And that would be incomplete, 3rd and 6. Spartans defense looking for the stop as we approach the 1-minute mark here in the 3rd quarter. Fans here at the ranch are starting to come alive, trying to will their Broncos on this 3rd down.
I will say that this game has gone by incredibly quickly because of how intriguing and entertaining this has been, with the defense being so alive on both teams tonight, and it's showing that both teams are able to be stopped.
And Broncos wanting a penalty on that play. It'll be 4th and 6. And there will be a late penalty flag. If the Broncos wanted it, they shall get it. Now move the sticks. 1st down for the Broncos. It's going to be a personal foul, roughing the passer. So not the penalty they wanted, but it's definitely the penalty they will accept. 1:01 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Broncos trailing the Spartans from Discovery Academy 19-14. John Chigueras alongside Alec Mosenberg. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be on this Thursday night. Hot one here in Davenport, Florida. 91 degrees is your on-field temperature.
And the ball is caught by Pierre.
And Pierre is going the opposite direction. As he is pushed back by the Spartans, it'll be 2nd down. So 2nd and 12 as losing 2 yards on the play. The clock continues to tick down. Under 15 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. George gets a snap, looks toward that far sideline. He will take it himself.
So, John, as we go into the 4th quarter, what do you expect to see from this Broncos team that will hopefully be able to lead them to the victory?
It's one of those. They're definitely going to have to continue to rely on this defense because this defense has been spectacular all throughout this game. Great defense can lead to great offense, and that is exactly what we have seen on both ends of the field.
Definitely, and I mean, I have to agree with you on that. As long as the defense stays strong, the offense stays strong, and that'll be what helps the Broncos definitely, claim that victory.
So clock is showing 0-0. Teams are still on the field, so I don't know if we are looking at an untimed down right now or not. As it will be 2nd and 1. And then we'll go ahead and they will call the end of the 3rd quarter. So we'll go off to the 4th quarter. Broncos trailing the Spartans by a score of 19-14. So, Alec, it was all Spartans in that 3rd quarter.
Maybe this time it'll be all Broncos, which would be an interesting, turn of events. The Spartans are the ones that take over the 3rd quarter, and the Broncos turn it around and say, nope, this is our time to shine. We were going to make a late game comeback, and that's how they win.
So if you're Coach George, what are you telling your kids right now as they get ready to come out for the fourth quarter here with a 2nd and 1?
Stay strong. Keep their heads up. Keep that defense high. Don't back down now. Don't give up. It's got to keep that momentum going. Got to hold them at 19. Got to score more points. Just got to get those points to at least tie it or potentially be able to win the game.
So Aiden George will take the snap here, 2nd and 1. And that ball is going to be fumbled. George does jump right back on it, but that is going to be a loss. But great heads-up situation there by George to get on the ball. So it'll be 3rd and 5 here in the fourth. 11:30 to go. George fakes the hands off, goes toward his right. And Dargan gets down. Looks like it's going to be for the first down. We'll see where they spot the ball. Officials continuing the conference. They're coming over to give Coach George an explanation. Broncos get pushed back. It will be 3rd and 10. Again, 10:48 to go here in the game. George gets the ball, scrambles, passes it off to his right, has his receiver. And that is going to be a first down and then some down to the 50, the 40, losing his footing down by the 38, but a huge first down by the Broncos. So Broncos again getting toward discovery territory, which is exactly where they need to be. And again, this is that never say die attitude that the Broncos have started to develop.
And it looks
And we do have an injury on the field. We will step away for the moment. Broncos trailing this one by a score of 19-14. Broncos with a 1st and 10, 10:36 to go here in the ball game. Spartans on top by a score of 19-14. John Shigaris along with Alec Mosenberg. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be. We know you have a lot of choices for your entertainment on a Thursday night, and we are blessed and honored that you have spent it with us here at the spring football game.
And what a night it is. I mean, like we were saying earlier, it is a beautiful night out for a football game. 83 degrees, a little bit of clouds, but no rain in the forecast here at Davenport High School. Now, John, as we are winding down towards the end of the school year, what has been like your favorite improvement that the Broncos have made with their football team since the fall season and as we've come into the spring game?
First off, with Saunders with a huge first down there. It's definitely have to be with how this defense has absolutely gelled. As we kept saying so many times during broadcasts in the fall, that they could not stop the run. And as we're seeing tonight against Discovery, they have definitely been able to improve that aspect.
Definitely. And, I mean, yeah, they have shown that this is, they've become a lot more different now with their defense, and they are able to stop that run that the opponents that they've been going up against have been trying to push upon them.
After the penalty, 2nd and 11 negates that first down. That's one thing the Broncos need to do is start shoring up on those penalties. George looking down, has his man, and that's going to be a first down and then some coming down that near sideline. Awesome catch by Dargan. So Dargan definitely able to get some of these grabs, and it's nice and refreshing to start to hear some new names offensively, wide receivers making these receptions. Because how often were we saying in the fall that it was Brown, that it was Harris, but now you have Dargan who's starting to make a name for himself for the Broncos.
It's honestly, I mean, it's interesting because, these new players, eventually they're going to be the face of the team once Harris leaves, once these juniors who are going on to seniors, once they graduate, these younger guys are going to have to be the new face that step up and try to be as successful as they were.
And Broncos now running down that near sideline. Will pick up a couple. 2nd down. So 2nd and 2, 8:40 on the clock. So Broncos continuing to use a lot of time on their play clock. George fakes it, takes himself for a first down and then some. 4-5, touchdown, George! Huge play for the Broncos, and just like that, Broncos have now taken a 20-19 lead. What a decision there for George to call his own number.
What a play. This is exactly what we have been talking about. This defense will light the spark for the offense, which will lead the Broncos to victory. And again, as John said, the Broncos are back on top, leading 20-19.
Soto will be out for the extra point. And there will be an offsides as it looks like Discovery jumped early. If it is, it'll be half the distance to the goal, and the ball will be placed on the 1 yard line. That's exactly what it was. So the ball would be moved from the 2 to the 1. So the extra point will now be kicked from the 9 instead of the 10. So De Silva will have an extra 3 feet closer to the uprights.
With 8 minutes left on the clock.
Ball is snapped. Kick is up. And that kick is going to be good, and the Broncos now have a 2-point lead. Broncos now on top by a score of 21-19. And I know earlier, Alec, you were saying changes that have been made from this program, and it's a completely different change because you had confidence issues with De Silva, and he would even tell you, hey, my confidence is shot, which is why so often the Broncos would go for 2 instead of kicking the extra point. Tonight, he has been perfect, 3 for 3 with those extra points. And it's not like it's barely going through the uprights. All of these have been center right down the middle.
And again, I mean, yeah, it's like you said, and I guess like what I said earlier, change is an important thing, and it shows how like mature, or at least maturer, this team has gotten since the fall. They've definitely gotten more confident on the field. As that will be a touchback, I believe.
And that will be a touchback. Yep, this ball sails into the end zone. So Discovery will get the ball on the 20, trailing 21-19, 8:10 to go here in the ball game. John Shigeris, Alec Mosenberg, thank you for joining us wherever you may be. And how nice is it to have football back under the lights here in Davenport?
Very good. I mean, after, it's been a while, so it definitely feels good because, I feel like I'm back to my old self at the beginning of the year where I was having a good old time. I mean, of course, we've done, a few games here and there. We did basketball, volleyball, did a couple baseball games. So, I mean, having football back, that football is probably like the most popular sport in high school, I think. So, of course, it's going to get like that big crowd, and it's just going to be an all-out, intriguing experience.
Granted, you have the schedule release party coming up on Memorial Day, but we do have a spoiler. The first Davenport Broncos home game next year will be on August 26th. So August 26th, so just a few months away.
And we don't know who we're playing yet?
Not yet. That schedule release will be coming on Memorial Day. Okay. So a week from Monday, that'll drop here on the Broncos Broadcasting Network.
As a flag is thrown.
But now this is the Broncos defense that we saw early in the game. Okay, here's a reception, but we're going to make sure that you don't get any yards after the catch. We're going to stop you right where you stand.
No matter what that cost may be.
And that's just the mindset this defense has starting to take. So it'll now be third down. And again, the better your defense starts to be, that's when offenses start to overthink, and that's when you start having penalties like we just saw with the illegal block in the back. And another huge sack by the Broncos. Unbelievable how much this defense has shored up.
And I mean, the aggressiveness on the field has certainly also improved since the fall. Sorry, go ahead.
And we have an injury timeout. We will be right back here on the Broncos Broadcasting Network. And injury timeout has ended, walking off on his own power, which again is exactly what you always want to see. 6:25 to go here in the fourth quarter. Broncos on top by a score of 21-19. It will be 3rd and 12. John Shigeris here with Alec Mosenberg. Spartans with the ball. They are driving toward the end zone on the right-hand side. Broncos defense looking to make another huge stop. They have made a number of stops tonight. It has been so impressive to see this defense coming alive. Something they had flashes of brilliance last year, but everything coming together tonight for them.
Definitely, and I mean, again, that's like what makes sports so entertaining is a game could be 21-19 like this one, and it could potentially end now as the ball is punted to Saunders, who...
So Saunders getting the punt, and not much of a return there. 5:34. Go ahead, Alec. Go ahead and finish that thought.
You know, currently like this game, if the Broncos hold them at 19, the score could be really close, a 2-point game. Or the alternative, you know, like in every sport, this game could just be blown, say, 50-0. It really is like hard to understand what is going to be the outcome of the games. And that's like, you know, the most entertaining like and kind of fun thing about it is being able to try and predict what's going to happen and what's going to be that final outcome.
I mean, you can probably predict a 21-19 game will not become 50-0,
What?
but I see the point you were trying to make there. The Broncos getting the ball at midfield, 1st and 10. George hands it off, and we have another run for a couple. That's Dargan again. So Dargan starting to fill that hole that is left by Avis Brown. So it'll be 2nd and 8, 5:12 to go as the clock continues to wind down. George again from the shotgun. Fakes to Dargan, racing toward his right, throws it downfield.
Oh, and there we go. There's another touchdown for the Broncos.
And would you look at that, J5, Saunders coming up big with that one. Saunders getting redemption. How many times did he have earlier where it looked like if he could have just waited an extra second, he might have been able to catch the ball and go in? Saunders saying, all right, you know what, George, I've seen you throw it to me enough. Give me one more opportunity. And J5 coming up huge. Broncos now up by a score of 27-19.
And what did I say, John? I mean, that's the thing about sports. Like I was saying, it could have been 21-19, but no. The Broncos show that they are still in this, and they easily score a field goal right here to make it 28-19.
So De Silva now 4 for 4 with the extra point. He didn't hit 4 extra points the entire season in the fall, so it's a coming out party for a number of these Broncos players. We're now starting to see George as the quarterback, Saunders with that huge touchdown. Nicholas De Silva now with 4 extra points, going 4 for 4. All of this mentality, all of this positive energy. Now the Broncos are knowing that they can actually do that, and that is going to be so key as we start to look towards summer workouts and as we start to look toward that first game, which will be on the road on August 19th.
Just looking at the Broncos, on the sideline right now, they're certainly hyped. The coaches were getting excited. They were happy for them that they were able to score that touchdown and really, really turn the tide of this game for right now.
One thing that impresses me is here we are, it's that spring exhibition game. I haven't seen any fans leave this game yet.
I know, and it's like everyone here is just really, locked in and just intrigued by what's happening because it's been a very, very interesting game tonight with the defense, with the offense, the amount of touchdowns that are being scored by both teams. It's really something truly special watching them play. Coming off a season like they did, watching them play tonight, it's like this is a whole new team and you don't even recognize them. And I mean, like I said, 4-6, that's a good record, but tonight it's like they're one of the best teams, in the district.
One thing we will be talking about when that schedule is released on Memorial Day is the brand new district alignment. So rivalries that we have seen the last few years not necessarily will continue to play a hand. As Discovery able to go ahead, they will rush close to a first down, and that will be a first down. So 1st and 10 just shy of the 38-yard line as we go 4:34 to go here in the fourth quarter.
The Broncos really, really need to keep their heads high. They cannot afford to slip up and lose any of that momentum that they had. Because if the slightest mistake could easily just bring this game back to earth to the point where the Spartans are like, oh, well, they're slacking off now. Now's our chance to score 10 points as the ball is fumbled.
And recovered by the Broncos. Huge recovery by the Broncos. Special teams and defense coming up big. And it seems like you saw that coming in advance as you were calling that fumble before that ball came out. Good eye there, Alec.
And I mean, so far the Broncos have shown that this quarter that their aggressiveness is their number one key to winning this game. Be aggressive at defense. Be aggressive at offense. No mistakes, because like I was saying, the slightest mistake could simply just ruin this entire game for them and leave the Spartans victorious.
Broncos coming off of the turnover. George again in the backfield, working the shotgun. 4:01 to go here in the game. And that ball is loose. George, he jumps right on top of it, so that'll be a loss of 2. It will be 2nd and 12. There's one thing we have seen a lot from this Broncos offense, not only in the fall, but now. They like to run the shotgun a lot. We saw Vanderveer do that often, and it makes sense if Vanderveer did it that George would try to emulate.
And I mean, it makes sense because they want to try. He wants to try and get like as good as possible because, like I've been saying mostly throughout the entire game, right now the people or the guys who are playing as our quarterbacks, it's like an audition for them to find, for the coaches to find out who is going to be that piece that we need to fill Vanderveer's spot since he's leaving.
Tolliver is now going to be under center as we go to 3rd and 7, under 3 minutes to go.
And this is where it gets exciting as like these last.
Tolliver able to escape the pressure, running for his life down the near sideline. That is going to be very close to a first down. And a quarterback with legs is so dangerous. And we've seen it so often when you have that quarterback, if they have speed, hey, it looks like I'm going to be sacked. Oh, look, hey, here's that little opening. I'm going to thread the needle and head right down. So first down by the Broncos. Huge pickup there. So what a way to go ahead and come in and begin the drive for Tolliver.
And that could probably be what, makes him stand out is he's a quarterback, he's fast. Excuse me. He's able to make that type of play where he can get the first down. He can do a lot of different things, He can lead this team. He can call his own shots as the flag is thrown.
So we'll race for the first down, but again, as Alex said, flags on the play. We will await that decision as we get 2:37 to go in the ball game. Broncos on top by 9, 28-19. And it's going to be holding on the Broncos. So take that first down back. So 1st and 15, 2:35 to go. Tolliver waiting for the ball to get set. Working from the shotgun. And a delay of game on the Broncos will back them up even more. So while you don't want to focus on the negative, seeing how well the Broncos have played, one thing they have not shored up is the amount of penalties they continue to receive. They've been able to shore up that defense, prevent the run. Now it seems like that final piece of that puzzle is to go ahead and start avoiding some of these costly penalties.
And that's been a thing with both teams. The penalty strike hasn't just been striking the Broncos. It's been constantly going at both teams.
Tolliver will take himself on a run to the near sideline. 2nd and long, 1:44 to go. But it is definitely nice and exciting to start to see this new blood for the Broncos. Be it Tolliver, be it Dargan. Future is very bright for this Broncos team.
With a minute 40 left.
And there's a handoff for the Broncos, and that is going to be close to a first down. Pierre with around 1:25 to go. Looks to be about 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. And that'll be incomplete as Tolliver went with the fake. Third and 8 with 1 minute to go.
So, John, as we are getting into the final minute of the game, how would you summarize this entire football season as a whole?
I mean, it's definitely a tale of two different teams. The Broncos, coming out of that rookie season that they had, you knew that they weren't going to go undefeated, and that field goal is up, and that one is not going to go. So it goes left, 52.2 seconds to go. But the Broncos did go ahead, and they have put in the work this offseason. They have shored up the things that they needed to work on. Their defense, they needed to work on. Their run defense, they needed to work on. Their special teams, they needed to work on. Nicholas Da Silva starting to kick the extra points now as he went 4 for 4 tonight. Again, he didn't have 4 extra points in the entirety of the season. So starting to get some of this confidence, and confidence will continue to build and build and build as we have 52.2 seconds to go. It's definitely going to be fun to see how this team not only continues to build during the summer, but what they're going to do in the fall. Because August 19th is right around the corner. And again, you will have that entire schedule dropping on Memorial Day. So 1 week from Monday, right here on the Broncos Broadcasting Network. And then 2 weeks later, we will also be revealing the volleyball schedule. So a lot of things coming up. While the school year may be over, the fun and the programs never stop here on the Broncos Broadcasting Network. Live games may be over, but you still have rodeos and other lookbacks of the season. And that ball is just going to be overthrown. It will be 2nd and 10. One thing that's really going to be fun to look at is our year-end review, where we take a look at the top 10 moments that have happened here at Davenport High School this year. How many moments could it be? I mean, you have Isaiah Harris, who had a number of 80-yard touchdown passes. You have Tip Butler, who had that last-second Hail Mary shot against Discovery to win that game.
That walk-off wild pitch in baseball.
You had a walk-off wild pitch in baseball. So many moments. And this is only the first year in this Broncos program. That's going to be intercepted by the Broncos. And what a way for that defense to come up. That defense putting on a clinic this entire game and coming up big again with 40 seconds to go.
And I mean, as I guess technically our motto, we're just getting started, you know? We're going to hit rock bottom as the years come by. We may not show it now. We may have struggled a little bit this year, but as the years continue on, we're going to get good. We're going to be that new high school that everyone has to try and be. And I mean, even with the Bronco Broadcasting Network, this is where the fun begins. This is where it all starts.
And it's one of those, I'm sure Coach George definitely, one thing that we did fail to mention is the Horizon game at Horizon, in which Van Devere went nuts with 6 touchdowns and 585 yards. And to think that that didn't even make the quick list that we were thinking off the top of our heads just shows how much we had this year with Broncos history. You had the girls volleyball team being the first team that went to a state tournament. You have our weightlifting teams. You have our track teams that earned state titles, or not state titles, but state awards.
So as the BBN supervisor, what has been your favorite number one moment this season or this year? It's a tough question.
Yeah, I mean, I would be biased for that amazing call when Trip Butler hit that half-court shot.
That was a shot.
Probably how well this volleyball team did, being able to go ahead and compete in a state tournament, being the first team to do that, and just seeing how much that program grew and developed, because they had over a month where they couldn't even go ahead and practice in their own gym.
Go ahead. So the final score for tonight's game, the Broncos with 28 and the Discovery Spartans with 19. Again, your Broncos are the winners. My name is Alec Mosenberg, and I'm happily joined by
John Shigaris, your executive producer of the Broncos Broadcasting Network. Myself, John Shigaris, Alan Duget, and Mel Gables. If you enjoyed today's broadcast, make sure to subscribe to the Broncos Broadcasting Network. If you are new, make sure to look back at the channel to look at some news updates and some games that took place during the year. We thank you for all of your support, and a like and a subscribe would help us more than you would know. From Davenport, everyone, good night.